First of all, sir, thank you so much for doing this. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm a bit stretched, but I'm fine.
Yeah. Before we go ahead, do you mind? I hate to start like this, but I think we should just do it and get it out of the way. So, do you mind addressing the viral video we saw like a few months ago, just briefly?
No. I can't because I'm still in court.
Okay. But looking back, do you have any regrets?
No. Everything is an experience. There's no regrets.
Okay. I want to talk about your experience in jail. Is it in jail or in prison? That was in detention, right?
Yeah, jail. I didn't go to prison.
Okay, sorry, in jail. Yeah. How was the experience like in there?
Well, it was something new to experience. I mean, to see how. Well, I thought that was the worst living conditions in Nigeria. But some of the people I met in the jail that have now been transferred to prison proper, been sending me the videos. So I think it's just, for me, it strengthens my resolve on my mission to bring dignity back to the existence of African people.
Of course.
Because
I think the reason why I bring it up is the fact that I think some people don't understand how life in jail is for those guys. I think I saw a video a few weeks ago how they were all cramped like sardines together. I don't know if you saw that video.
Yeah, I have live because I talk to boys from the jail, from the prison almost every day.
Yeah.
Most times they want help, they want this, So you see the conditions. This one is not even a good.
Yeah.
I didn't download most of it.
Can you send it to me, please? So just I will put it up. Find a way to put it up. Yeah.
So like we as human beings must fight for our humanity. We should not allow any group separate us from our humanity. Even in the contract of society, even those that end up becoming criminals have been failed by society. I mean, this has been scientifically proven. Nobody was born a criminal. It is circumstances of the failings of society that creates the criminal element. Yeah. It is the scarcity of the system. I mean, as African people, we existed for thousands of years and didn't need prisons. So at least there was a social understanding that prevented people from being in such desperate situations that,
Yeah. I mean, obviously, when the museum, your great father's house, right? I also saw when what happened to you happened, or when that event happened, a video surfaced that's where we saw your dad being, to use the word, maltreated by the police. He even showed how he was beaten on his body and everything. So, being a small child then when that happened, and looking back now at what happened to you a few months ago, did that experience with the police, did it bring back some trauma? I don't know if you know what I mean. Like, did you like remember what happened to your dad, and you were like, oh, this is now happening to me again? The police that is meant to protect me, that are down against me. Like, I don't know if you get my point. They didn't allow you to see your wife for some days. She brought food for you. They didn't let her to come in.
Well, I don't think there's as bad as people say I was treated in there. I was still one of the best treated people.
Yeah.
Not by the authorities, I have to say. Even in the cell they put me in, the prisoners made sure that at least they could give me as much comfort as they could afford.
Yeah.
It's true, as could be afforded inside the dungeon. They tried to make me comfortable,
Yeah.
So it is. I live with my family, not just me. I think my whole family. We have our own collective PTSD.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I saw someone dead was when the cops shot someone in front of this house, right in front of this gate.
Wow.
I was about 8 or something.
Wow.
So it is, my relationship with the Nigerian police is the same as my relationship with any oppressive institution, And the fact that my daughter was even in the car meant that, she has learned a valuable lesson, that she stands up in the face of any kind of oppressive act or situation.
Yes.
That she doesn't cower, ultimately.
I think that's the issue. For me, that's the big deal when it comes to the Nigerian police, is that they see Nigerians as, one, we don't know our rights, and sometimes they even see us as being subhuman. We're not even human beings, and they treat us as if we are nothing, or we're just riffraff. They can talk to you anyhow, they can slap you, they can see your haircut, you look like a criminal. If you wear a nice chain, if you wear a wristwatch, if you have an iPhone.
This is because the Nigerian police as an institution is still a colonial institution. You must understand that the first police officer in Nigeria, the first military man in Nigeria, was employed to kill African people to protect the interests of Europeans. And when those Europeans left, they replaced themselves with their cronies, who became the new elites, the new whites of Africa. That's why as soon as the Igbo people left, all of them left their neighborhood and rushed into the houses they left behind on the island and in the Ikoyi, because they are our new lords. And they've kept the police rather intact in that manner. That the police is really about protecting them from us. The police is not about serving you or giving you security. I mean, it is evident, and with most institutions in Nigeria that are colonial, the more police you have, the less security we are experiencing as Nigerians.
That's the truth.
And just like the more schools we build, the more professors and lecturers and teachers we have, the less education, the more courts and judges and lawyers, the less justice. So it is because all our institutions, the more banks, the more poverty, because all our institutions are colonial and they still run in that colonial plan to extract from us and keep us deprived of basic needs. I think that is what the situation is. See, this whole protest about Mohbad right now is just because nobody wants to address their own shortcomings. All the praising that they've been praising these bullies online, beat Rugged Man up online, everybody's hailing them, beat this one, film it, slapping people every day online, filming it, everybody's hailing them until it happens to who they like. Okay, now there's problem.
I mean, it's crazy. Let's talk about Mohbad, because I didn't know him personally, but I knew his music. So when we all saw what happened to him, and I listened to him, I was like, oh, this is the guy that sang this. I was like, wow. And then we all saw the videos that came out where he was beaten, the video of him in the hospital.
This guy, before he died, he was complaining. He went to police station. All these same fans that are shouting now knew what was happening. It was not a secret. He didn't hide it. These videos are not new videos. They've been posted before. In fact, it grew the popularity of the perpetrators of the act against him. So what we are doing right now is that we are trying not to, how would I put it? Look at the roles that we played, the monsters that we made. I said it in my live yesterday that we created a monster and we complain when the monster starts monstering. You can't turn a monster to a pet,
I mean, for me, it's like the industry failed to protect him. The industry failed him. That's the way I see it. The music industry failed Mohbad.
Society as a general. He went to police station. He didn't go to P-Man office. He didn't go to P-Man office to report the matter. He went to police station. Abi? So that's society right there. Also engaged, involved.
So for me, it's sad to see. It's really sad. But going back to this the issue of politics.
No, but we cannot engage with violence, with people that preach violence, and then we complain that some violent things happen. It is either, there's no gray area when it comes to violence. It's either you want violence,
or you don't want it,
or you don't want violence. Finish. But we know that in this Nigeria, many of the people we celebrate are some of the most violent people in the world. You know? And we see that as some kind of strength. My father, for example, we had tons of boys living in this house. But my father will never say, oh, go and beat up my neighbor because I don't like this guy, or he says so. No. Everybody knew that the boys of Calcutta were a protective force of our community. Only when people came to do something bad, okay, the boys will protect. And so me, I don't understand how, we as African people, we think we are Europeans or Americans. We don't even understand that those violent American music that we think that we like is sold to us by people that are our enemies. That it is the white establishment of the world that owns the corporations that decide what music. And the more these corporations have come to Africa, the more these American music companies have flooded into African music, the more violent our music has become.
It's true.
The more violent our youth have become. We can't see it as plain as it has did that they've brought a blueprint that they've used to destroy our cousins in Europe and America. And now that we too are able to raise our heads small, they have brought it here. But we think we are being cool. And we now call it, they say it's the culture. That's what annoys me. If a white man wears agbada, does that make him an African person?
No, it doesn't. You
are using African music to glorify European behavior and European goods and European materialism, and you say it's African culture. All the video is full of Gucci symbols, Mercedes symbol, LV. These are the symbols now. Symbols is culture. You give some African tokenism. How many times in this world do you think, sing about killing a cat, and who is going to play it on the radio? They'll say you're a mad person, a deranged human being. Look at what the Premier League did to Kozuma because he kicked his dog.
Yeah.
But police can beat a black man to death and they will justify and excuse it. There was no excuse Jacob Zuma could give about that dog.
None.
Even though he said the dog eats his 10,000 pounds. They'll say, how dare you?
Yes. He lost playing time. Some sponsors dropped him. Man, it was big. The backlash was massive.
But you can sing about killing black people, and these same people that are insulting Jacob Zuma, Zuma, yes, will put the song on the radio and give you awards, give you contracts, and give you endorsements all over the place. Presidents will invite you, you sit down with dignitaries. So what do you now want young people to do? When they see this person that is talking about how he's a criminal, talking about how he's killing people, sitting around with the people that control the world. What do you want this? You want the young man not to dream about sitting with the people controlling the world? Then you now blame him when he's acting like you have endorsed.
Of course, yeah. If you encourage him to act that way. So
if people don't respect us, when will we start respecting ourselves?
Exactly.
So just because people are willing for us to act as our base selves, the degrading of African women, acting as if all African women can be bought. You buy her a bag, she lose her mind. Like all African women must succumb to the materialism that men can provide. And if you cannot provide this, you are not a man. This toxicity, where the kindness, generosity, understanding, the emotional intelligence of people are no longer considered why they should be good partners or good mates to the opposite sex. All our women have to do BBL, to have value in the eyes of our men who can now buy that BBL woman some Gucci, and it's ridiculous, this narrative that is pushed amongst us.
Of course.
Of
course.
What do you bring to the table? A listening ear, motherfucker. Must it be, they've so capitalized black love.
Yeah, yes.
And black relationships in general.
Yes.
That if capital is not playing a role in some way, that love is
not
valuable
real.
and
Yes.
is a waste of time.
Yeah. It's all about money, it's all about what you buy, what you're wearing, how you.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Staying on this election.
But Bill Gates' wife and Jeff Bezos' wife just divorced them.
Exactly.
So can't we see It's like when all these rich men, all these elites are telling you that there's no problem, but they all have bunker under their house. So I'm asking the Jeff Bezos and the Bill Gates and the Elon Musk and all the people that they're telling us that they are moving this world forward. Why do you have bunker? Why are you building 25-year bunker protection unit under your house? What's going on? Are you telling me something? Do you know something I don't know? But this is the funny thing. They will be in that bunker. We all come in there. They are building it for everybody.
When it happens, the bunker won't even be safe for them anymore.
And the worst thing is, you see, this is why I say that even because when you dehumanize people, you dehumanize yourself. As much as they dehumanize those, they've also forgotten their humanity. Do they think that they can survive with just their friends and family for 20 years in a closed space? I mean, they will kill themselves in there.
Life will be boring. And
they will kill themselves. I mean, if human beings wanted to be isolated, we will not develop language.
Yes.
The reason why we talk is because you want to interact. You want to make.
Of course.
You want people to know exactly how you are feeling.
I mean, when you talk about when